We continue now at the top of Daf Yadalad Amud Aleph and Meseches Moed Kattan. This is Moed Kattan Daf 14a. The Mishnah continues, Umenuda sheitiru lo chachamim, if someone was ostracized from the community, and now the chachamim allowed that person back into the community, so they weren't able to do laundry before the Moed because they were ostracized, so now they're going to be allowed to do laundry on Chol HaMoed. V'chein misha nishal chacham v'huter. Similarly, let's say someone took a neder, an oath, not to do laundry, and then they asked the chacham and they got the oath undone, so now on Chol HaMoed again, they're going to be allowed to do laundry. Mitvachos hayadayim, u'mitvachos hasaporim, u'mitvachos hasvag, if you have towels that are used to dry the hands, or the towels of the barbers, or you have towels that are used to dry the body, all of those things also, you're allowed to do laundry for those things. And hazavin, v'hazavos, v'hanidos, v'hayoldos, these are individuals that are tameh, the zav, the zava, the nida, the yoledes, v'chola olin mitum alatara, anyone who is in the process of purifying themselves, hare elu mutar, and it's mutar for those people to do the laundry as part of the purification process, even though it's chol hamoed, ushar kol adam asurin, but other people, it's forbidden for them to do the laundry. And the Gemara says, "Ushar kol adam ma'itay ma'asurin." So what's the reason? Why is it that other people? Why is it that they're not allowed to get haircuts? Why is it that they're not allowed to do laundry on Chol HaMoed? And the Gemara explains, Kiritanan, as we learned in a Mishnah, this is a Mishnah in Meseches Tainis. It says, Anshe Mishmor v'Anshe Maimed. These are the people who work on shift in the Beis HaMikdash. The Anshe Mishmor are the Kohanim who are on shift in the Beis HaMikdash, and the Anshe Maimed are those who are not actually working in the Beis HaMikdash, but they're gathering in the towns. They're like the people who are appointed as the messengers to be the Bailim over the Karbanos that are brought in the Beis HaMikdash. They're like the agents of Klal Yisrael, because every Karban needs to have a Bailim. So these were the Anshe Mishmor and the Anshe Maimed. They had certain shifts that they worked. Everyone had a shift that they worked throughout the year. So Asura and L'Saper U'Lechabes, those individuals who are part of the Mishmor and part of the Maimed, they're not allowed to get haircuts and they're not allowed to do laundry. Uv'chamishi mutarin b'mnei kvod haShabbos, but on Thursday it's permitted for them to get haircuts and do laundry because of the honor of Shabbos. And V'yomer Rabba bar Brachana Omer Rebbe Lozer, and Rabba bar Brachana says in the name of Rebbe Lozer, my time, what's the reason for this? Why is it that the Anshe Mishmor and the Anshe Maimed, why is it that they're not allowed to get haircuts and do laundry? And the reason is, we don't want them to enter into their Mishmor, into their shift, in a way where they're disgusting, where they're not fully prepared. We want them to make sure they have clean clothing, get nice haircuts. So Hachanami here also, we don't allow them to take haircuts and to get laundry, and to do laundry rather, on Chol HaMoed, because we want them to do all that before the Moed, so that they enter the Moed, they enter the holiday prepared and ready. And the Gemara continues, Boy Rabbi Zera asks, Avdalo Aveda Erev HaRegel. Let's say a person lost an Aveda before the Regel, so they were busy trying to find the Aveda. They didn't have time, let's say, to take a haircut before the holiday. So Kevan de Onis Mutter, do we say, since it's a situation of Onis, therefore they now have a heter to get a haircut on Chol HaMoed? Odilmor maybe, Kevan de Lo Mukhamil Solo, since it's not clear, people don't realize that this individual had an Onis, so therefore maybe we won't allow them this heter, we won't allow them to get a haircut on Chol HaMoed. So Amar Abaya says, Yomru, won't people say, Kol hasrik and asurin, srike baitus mutarin. All of this is talking about the molds that are used when we're making chalos, when we're baking. Everything is asur, but the ones of baitos are mutter. In other words, you can't make distinctions. Just like you can't make distinctions in the case of surikin, so too you shouldn't be able to make distinctions over here. Rashi over here says, Yomer kol asrikin asurin, kilomar de baitos hayayachol lisro chalosav b'lishos. So baitos, when he was able to make his chalos, he was able to make it without any delay. So he was able to do it in a fashion, there was no concern of chametz. This is talking about on Pesach. So he was able to do it in this fashion, because he had like what we'd almost call like a cookie cutter. He had a mold to be able to shape it very quickly. But they said it doesn't make a difference. Since we say srikin are a problem, even the srike baitas are a problem, even though he was able to do it in a fashion that it wouldn't have been a concern of chametz. Because otherwise people will say, what, all the other srikin are usr and the srike baitas are mutter. Hachanami, same thing over here, same logic. Since not everybody knows what this person's particular onus was, so Yomru Kuli Alma Surin Legalech V'zeh Mutter, people are going to say everyone else is not allowed to get a haircut and this guy's allowed to get a haircut. But the Gemara continues, V'letaimech, but according to that reasoning, Hada Amar Rabbi Yasi Amar Rabbi Yochanan, that which Rabbi Yasi said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, he said, Kol mi she'ein lo el cholok echad. Let's say you have an individual, he only has one garment. So Mutter lechabso b'chol shel moed. That person actually does have a heter. He's allowed to launder that garment on Chol HaMoed. So the Gemara says, according to your logic of srike baitos, so hasanami over there also. Yomru, they'll say, kol asrikin asura and srike baitos mutarin. All other srikin are asur and the srike baitos are mutar. In other words, why are we making a distinction by that individual? Obviously, there are exceptions. So the Gemara says, no, ha'itmar Allah, no, it was already said on that exception. Amar Mar Bar Rav Ashi, the Mar Bar Rav Ashi said, a zuro mochiach olav. His belt or his cholok actually shows, in other words, it's clear to everybody why this individual has a heter. Rashi over here says, a zuro mochiach olav, demishain lo el cholok echad. A person who only has one garment, poshto u'mesatef b'makterino v'chogro be'ezuro v'yomer mechabes hacholok u'modia lakol shein lo el cholok echad. Let's say somebody is washing his garment, so he's going to have to take whatever other type of garment he's able to cover up with, and he's going to take a belt and wrap it around, meaning he'll be dressed in a fashion where it is clear that he only has one garment. So that's not going to be an issue. No one's going to wonder why he has an exception. It's going to be obvious why he has an exception, and therefore in that particular case, it's not going to be a problem. The Gemara continues, Rav Ashi Masni, Rav Ashi taught it as follows, a slightly different way. Boy Rabbi Zera, that Rabbi Zera asked the following question, Uman sha'avda lo avedo erev haregel. Let's say you had a craftsman, he lost something before the regel. Mahu, so what's the halach in that situation? Kevan de uman hu mukcha milsa. Since he's an uman, so everyone knows what's going on. The idea Rashi says is that an uman, everyone always knows what's going on. He's almost like a public figure. We'll take a look at Rashi in a minute. Odilmar maybe kevan de lo mukcha milsa kihanach. Since it's not as clear as all the other cases of our Mishnah, so we don't make an exception in that case. And to that the Gemara says, Teku, we will leave that as a question. Rashi over here says, uman could go in sapor shakol boy metzler regel. Let's say like a barber. Everyone goes to this barber on erev haregel. V'roam shavdelo aved. Everyone knows he lost something. Everyone knows he was too busy. V'yanus hu ve'enu yochel. Sapor atzma. He was an onus. He wasn't able to get a haircut himself. So in that case where it's clear, so maybe it's going to be permitted. The Gemara says, on the other hand, kihanach, it's not as clear as the other cases. The masnisin, the katani megalchim, the meid lakol. All those exceptions in the Mishnah, those are cases that everybody knows about. Maybe there's more reason to have heter in those cases. Medina Sayyam, then the Mishnah said that if someone's coming from Medina Sayyam, that's also a reason for leniency. The Gemara says, Masnisin deloka Rabbi Yehuda. Our Mishnah does not follow the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanya, as we learned in a Braisa, Rabbi Yehuda says, Habami Medina Sayyam, somebody who's coming from across the sea, lo yigaleach. He's not allowed to get a haircut because he left without permission. The Gemara now explains, what does this exactly mean that he went without permission? Amar Rava says, Lashut divrei hakol aser. If the person just went, Lashut means to say like a vacation, he wasn't going for any particular reason, everybody agrees that that's not enough of an excuse to say that now he's allowed to get a haircut during the Moed. It's forbidden in such a case. Lemizonos, now let's say somebody was going for food, he needed to go on this trip. So divrei hakol mutter, that everybody agrees is certainly mutter. Lo nechliku, the machlokas only is ela laharvacha. Let's say the person has plenty, but he wants to make a profit, so he's going for business, but it's not because he needs mizonos, just because he wants to make a profit. That's the question over here, whether that's a reason for a heter. Mar medami leikiloshet. So one opinion says that's the same thing as going like you're going on a vacation. That's what Rabbi Yehuda would say. That's considered shelo bereshus. That's what Rabbi Yehuda would say. And you're not allowed to get a haircut in that case. Umar medami leikil mizonos. But our Mishnah is more mekel, says it's the same thing as mizonos in that case, and the person is allowed to use the heter and get the haircut on chol hamoed. Gemara says, Meisei, we have a question on this understanding of Rava. Rava's understanding, again, that Loshut, everyone says is Asr, Lemizonos, everyone says is Mutter, and Harvach is the Machlokis. So Meisei, we have a question. Amar Rebbe says, Nir in Divrei Rabbi Yehuda k'sheyotza shelo b'reshus. It appears that Rabbi Yehuda is correct when you leave without permission. V'divrei Chachamim k'sheyotza b'reshus. But the Chachamim seem to be correct when you had permission to go on this trip. So what does that mean exactly? My shelo b'reshus. What does it mean to say that Rabbi Yehuda is saying shelo b'reshus? That Rebbe is saying that Rabbi Yehuda makes sense shelo b'reshus. Ilema lashut. If that means to say that Rabbi Yehuda makes sense in a case where the guy's just going on a vacation. V'yamar divrei hakol aser. But you already said everybody agrees with that. What do you mean Rabbi Yehuda appears correct? Everybody, even the Chachamim, agree it's aser in that case. V'yala lemizonos. But then you're going to say, okay, maybe it's the other extreme. Maybe he means mizonos is not rishus, but that's not true. V'amar divrei hakol mutter. In the case of mizonos, everybody says that is rishus. Everyone says you have permission and it's mutter. So elapshita laharvicha. So you're going to have to say that what does Rebbe mean? Rebbe means to say that Rabbi Yehuda's opinion makes sense in a case of profit. That's considered shelo b'rishus. But then ema seifa. Then how do you understand the end of Rebbe's sentence? Nir in divrei chachamim k'sheyotza b'rishus. The chachamim seem right when you had permission. My b'rishus. What does it mean you had permission? Again, ilema lemizonos. If he means to say it makes sense by a case of mizonos, ha'amrit divrei hakol mutter. That was the case everybody agreed to. There's no machlokas there. V'yala laharvachas. Then you'll say, okay, it's the case of profit. V'amrit nir in divrei Rabbi Yehuda b'ha. But you just said that it appears that Rabbi Yehuda is correct in that case, and that's considered shelo b'rishus. So it doesn't make any sense. You can't put together Rebbe's statement with the way that Rava understood the machlokas of the Chacham and Rabbi Yehuda. And so the Gemara answers as follows. Hachi ko'amar. Here's how you have to understand Rebbe according to Rava. Near in divrei Rabbi Yehuda li Rabbanon. Rabbi Yehuda would agree to the Rabbanon k'sheyatza shelo b'reshus u'mayiniu loshet. In a case where you had no permission, so in such a situation, like Loshet, rather, I should say, near and divrei Rabbi Yehuda Rabbanan means Rabbi Yehuda's words appear correct to the Rabbanan. The Rabbanan would agree with Rabbi Yehuda in a case where you went with no permission, meaning just for a vacation. That's what Rabbi was saying. Rabbi wasn't saying near and that I believe that it's correct. Rabbi was saying the Rabbanan would agree with Rabbi Yehuda, exactly what Rava said. The Rabbanan would agree with Rabbi Yehuda by Loshet, by a vacation. Even the Chachamim only disagreed with Rabbi Yehuda when you just went on a trip for profit. But if you did it for a vacation, they would agree to Rabbi Yehuda. You have to be strict. And the words of the Rabbanan, they seem correct to Rabbi Yehuda, meaning Rabbi Yehuda would agree to the Rabbanan when you had permission to go on the trip. And what does that mean? If you went for food, everyone would agree in that case. Because even Rabbi Yehuda, again, the machlokus was only by harvacha. But if it's for mezonos, that's certainly bereshus. Everybody would agree that that is okay. And the Gemara continues, Amar Shmuel, Shmuel says, Kattan hanolad b'moed. Let's say you have a Kattan, a minor, a child is born on Chol HaMoed, mutter legaleach b'moed. So for that child, you're allowed to give him a haircut on Chol HaMoed. Rashi says, Kattan hanolad b'moed, v'lo saros gedolim. He has a lot of hair. So mutter legaleach b'moed, sarosh ha'metzaro. If the hair is causing him pain, so you're allowed to give a haircut. And what is the reason for this? Why is a Kattan okay? It's mutter legaleach b'moed, shein lach beis v'asur, and gadol mizeh. There's no more case of getting out of prison more than this. It was impossible in the womb to get a haircut, just like it's impossible in prison to get a haircut. So now is the first opportunity, so you could do it on Chol HaMoed. And so the Gemara says, b'moed in mekaralo. Rashi over here says, mekaralo dim nolad kodem haregel. Sounds like it's saying if he was born on the moed, he can get a haircut. Let's say he was born right before the moed. Eino megalech b'regel. You're not allowed to shave then on the regel. Ha'ol v'haya yachol legalech kodem haregel. Because there was an opportunity to do it before the regel. That's what it sounds like Shmuel is saying. It's only if he's born on the regel. So the Gemara says, Meseches Repinchas. Repinchas asks the following question. Kalelu sha'amru mutter legaleach b'moed. It says that all of these cases that we have in our Mishnah, where you're allowed to shave, let's say, on Chol HaMoed, all of these exceptions, mutter legaleach b'mei evlo. There's an exception by a case of an avil. An avil is also not supposed to get a haircut, just like there are a bunch of exceptional cases where we allow it on Chol HaMoed. So to all of these cases, you're allowed to do it, and if you have such a scenario and the person is an avil. So the implication of Rabbi Pinchas of this statement is ha'asur legaleach b'moed, asur legaleach b'mevlo. It sounds like from what Rabbi Pinchas over here is quoting from this brisa, that in a situation where someone is not allowed to shave on Chol HaMoed, that same individual would not allowed to be able to shave during the Avelus. And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Yodalid Amud Beis.